2021. It was us in 2020. But we back, baby. Live here on Esports Extra, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. It's Thursday, January 7th, 2021. We'll take your phone calls live here, 877-853-5247. Meeting ID, Esports Extra. That is 377-678-9872. Pound button twice to join the show. Larry Ridley here, a little SNY TV, a little NBC Sports, Madden NFL, a little NBA 2K League. Oh, 3-on-3. Cube, you want some of this? What do you think? They don't want it. They don't want the smoke.
Nah,
they don't want it.
They don't want
They ain't built like that.
Ooh, speaking of Bill, look at you, girl. Got your hair did. Not done. It got did.
Thanks.
It's probably going off the screen, man.
Girl, you better.
It's not even that long. Relax.
You better.
Thanks,
Your
Boo.
bad self. So, how long was you rocking? What is box braids? What was the twist?
No, these are some locks. So, yeah, I got my hair locked up. Like a week, maybe.
Okay.
Right before New Year's, yeah.
Oh, is that a ring I see on your finger, God?
I actually wore it today.
I can't see. What? Turn that thing down. Put it down.
I generally don't wear it because people in the streets have run up on people for less. So
Yeah.
I like to be alive and keep my finger.
Put that thing down, man.
You gave somebody one of these one day.
That was a long time ago, girl. I don't think it's gonna happen again. That was a long
You
time
don't
ago.
think it's going to happen again?
Says the hopeless romantic. God,
I'm
he's just
romantic. I ain't
scorned.
hopeless though. I ain't hopeless.
Get you a little therapy. You'll be fine.
Girl, I'm living my best life, girl. I don't know what you're talking
We
about.
know. We know.
OG, what's up, man? You still on OHIO?
Yeah, man. I had a birthday. I'm in my Jackie Robinson year now.
Ooh, 42. Got it.
42.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Happy
Having a good time.
birthday.
And my daughter's birthday is next week. A bunch of Capricorns, man.
I was about to say it's Capricorn season. Is that what it is?
Yeah. I started realizing on my Facebook page, a lot of people that I'm actually cool with that I didn't know their birthday, I've been saying that they all Capricorns now. So it's like a lot of it makes sense.
Capricorns. All right. It was just, I think my last two kids, my youngest son and my daughter, I think they're Sagittarius, right? So that was December. Is that what it is?
My kid too. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but look, if we want to talk about signs and all that stuff, man, it's all about the Libras. I mean, that we make the world go round. We're balanced. We're pragmatic. The highest percentage of billionaires on Earth are Libras. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how we.
I ain't gonna talk down on no Libra. The last time I was with a Libra, boy, I changed my life.
Whoa! You think I'm gonna let you get away with that, son? What happened?
I mean, I loved every inch of her, but we ended up splitting up. She wanted to work on some things, and she had some things. She had some personal things going on, but together it was. Hey, I still think about it from time to time.
Oh, dad, boy.
Where's she at? Where's she at?
Oh, she put it on you. The only thing I will say about Libras, it can be a little flirty at times. That's about it. Other than that, really get along with everybody. Like I said, pragmatic. We're balanced, man. You know what I'm saying? Kelly, what you got to say about us, Kelly?
Dated a Libra once. It was interesting.
What do you got me about? What does interesting mean?
I'm very opinionated, and Libras can be also. So there's that.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with two people being opinionated. You got to exchange the ideas, a little give and take.
Yeah, it takes the right man to deal with a very strong woman.
Kelly, what you say about us, Kelly?
And I'm a Cancer, and then I married a Cancer.
See, yeah, that's when you say Cancer,
But
you out. That's like
why?
killing.
What's wrong?
Get
What?
out.
Fuck,
Get out.
what? Geminis are crazy. Get you a Cancer woman, you ain't got to do nothing.
Okay, I will say this.
But there's a but.
The young lady I'm talking to is a Cancer.
Okay. What is her age? Not to put you out there, but to put you out there.
Early 30s.
Oh, okay. So she's not a child.
No.
She's emotional, right?
Bingo.
So I am not so emotional.
Good girl though. Good girl.
See, good. I am not so emotional, but my husband has all the emotions.
Oh, okay.
Every single one.
Well, see, but you know what? That's what works with the with the Libras because like I'm just like it's all good, man. Whatever, it's all good. Like it's all just be cool, baby. You know what I'm saying? Ridley's here, it's all good. So it works out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ready to get started? What Coach K talking about? All right, guys. You guys, let's get started. Talking NBA. We're talking a little NFL wildcard weekend. I want to get your thoughts on what's the best game going on this weekend. We'll talk about that. Trevor Lawrence did make it official what everyone always knew was going to happen. He did declare for the NFL draft. We'll talk about the Clemson quarterback and his long locks. Uh, Congratulations, you're going to play in Jacksonville, dog. Good luck with that. Devonta Smith won the Heisman. He's
Florida.
a wide receiver. Exactly. Doesn't have to go very far. I think he's from Georgia, right? So just right over the state line down to Florida. Devonta Smith won the Heisman. Alabama. I was looking at some video. I was talking to Coach K last night. There was video of Ruggs, Jerry Judy, Devonta Smith, and Waddle, all four of them in Alabama like a year or two ago. I'm like,
Mm.
holy cow! What a daggone! I don't think you can find four better receivers than that in the college football in the last. I challenge anybody in the last 10 years at least. That's four basically first round picks right there. So we'll get into that. Compete for everyone Black News Channel this weekend as well. Episode 32, Coach Guy? Yeah, 32. 32. Compete Forever Madden League Season 53 divisional round this weekend. So the cream rising to the top. We'll find out who's going to play in the championship games and the Super Bowl next week. All right, let's start. NBA players last night taking a knee. Three games that I saw. I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I know Celtics, Miami Heat. Great game, by the way. Dragic hits the three to tie it, and then the Celtics with Pritchard, the little kid from Oregon, with the tip in about zero point 0.2 seconds left for the Celtics to win it last night. They took a knee before the game. I think your boy Miles still stood. He did it during the bubble. I think he was the only one that stood last
Yeah,
night as
yeah,
well. But everyone else took a knee. Clippers Dubs last night also taking a knee. Very interesting. We'll show the video as well. With actually pictures now. You'll see Giannis after the tip with the Bucks game against the Pistons. Giannis gets the tip or whatever, and everyone immediately goes down and takes a knee as well. So very symbolic there. Of course, everything that's going on in the country. We saw the White House or the Capitol building overrun by some thugs. That's what they are. That was thuggish what they did. They're not protesters. Those were, that was something else. They were not protesters. So, want to get your thoughts on the taking the knee last night with the NBA. Guys did decide to play. That was the most important thing there, OG. But also, of course, using their platform, of course, to shine a light on what's going on in this country. When we all know if it was some black people up there running over the daggone Capitol, sitting in Nancy Pelosi's chair and doing all this other nonsense, stealing equipment, vandalizing things, I'd hate to even imagine what the hell would happen to us. Your thoughts, OG?
yeah. I said it would. It probably been the worst slavery compilation movie we ever seen. I mean, that was my first thought when I thought about it. And in talking about the kneeing, that went on in the games. I'm one of those who I'm not opposed to freedom of expression. I mean, thought we were supposed to be allowed that, and I just wish it wasn't so objective. Like a lot, I search for understanding and why people do what they do and say what they say. And I wish more of the world would, do that. I actually went on the NBA Facebook page and commented on there, and
Wow.
basically, yeah, I made a comment though. Oh yeah, it went south real quick.
Mm.
And my post wasn't even. Uh, I didn't think it was that bad, but I was just making a comment based off the comments that I was seeing within the thread. Like it was just horrible. It got all off topic, and that's normally what happens when people they go out. They have what they're trying to get you to understand, and then people take it, twist it, flip it, and by the time you end up, you look down the road. We're not even talking about what we were initially talking about before. So I did that, and basically, I said it's just always interesting to see um, how people of non-color look at situations like this when they happen. And next thing you know, oh, white's a color and all this, and I'm like, come on, like y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, and man, before you know it, the thread blew up. I ended up deleting it, but I had a fun time interacting with some people on there and different things like that. But I'm all about people expressing, as long as you're not harming anybody or harming yourself. I mean, I'm for it.
Yeah. Once again, not protesters. They were rioters. Kale's there. That was vandalism. That was trespassing. That was, federal property. I saw lecterns, like I said. Guy just had his feet kicked up off Pelosi's desk. I mean, cops taking selfies with some of these rioters, not protesters. Once again, we ain't calling them
What's
protesters.
more than a rioter? Because that was more than rioting. Like
That
they
was domestic
literally,
terrorism. That's what it
yes,
was.
they broke in to a place. Like they broke in. That's what like so that's what blows my mind. And sitting
They
back, I
didn't
was in
even
the
really
dentist.
break in. They were kind of like,
Hey,
did you see the
Well,
video
yeah,
of the,
they were
the
they
cops?
were
here you
ushered
go.
in.
Hey,
Yes,
hey,
they were
here you
like,
go.
oh,
Olay.
oh,
Like,
yeah, taking selfies with people. Like it was, that's a lot. And when people and I was watching CNN last night for a long time, and they were talking about our country. This is the worst day our country has seen. I'm like, for who? This is like that was bare minimum. One like, and it's gonna sound bad, but one lady got shot, four people died total. In the history of our country, there have been cities and towns of black people massacred. And if
Tulsa.
that's what they think the worst day of American history is, that shows how far we still have to go as a society. So, and I was trying to understand, and maybe you guys can help, but what was the point of taking a knee last night?
For the NBA players, it
Yeah,
was, you think about, Kaepernick and what he went through, how that was seen as, un-American, the worst thing ever. Also, just shine a light on it as well with the NBA players. We saw Giannis, we saw Jason Tatum, we saw the stars, we saw Kawhi. We saw a bunch of stars out there, Steph and those guys as well. But the one thing they did want to get across was we're not going to not play games. We are
right.
going to
And
play
that's
games.
what I was so confused
We're
when
not
I
going to give
heard
them. We're not
that
going to
of
give them that.
yes, when people were scolding them like you shouldn't play, but I'm like, you don't play when something sad happens.
Hmm.
Like when there's something to stop about, when there's something like there wasn't to me, I was like, this is terrible. Don't get me wrong, this is some BS. But like if we carried on through COVID and 300,000 people dying, and these are the same people that were pushing for sports, then why would we not play today just because y'all didn't get your way and now you're listening to some silly rhetoric?
Also, they
Jacob
wanted to
Blake.
show Jacob Blake, especially the Milwaukee Bucks. I was just about to say that. Go ahead, OG. That's exactly,
Yeah, I mean,
because
the
you had two
funny,
events too. Because of course the cop got off with shooting Jacob
Oh,
Blake.
right. Yeah,
That's
for
terrible.
sure.
yeah,
Which
the
is,
go ahead, okay.
I would say
No,
it's maddening, but yeah, go.
OG.
Not, it was like for me, just to dig a little deeper. Like, it's always funny how people look at things. Like, I'm not the judge and jury of anything. And then for most people who are faith based and whatever your belief in, you don't think about being the judge and jury of who lives, who dies, or whatever. But it's always interesting in a lot of different situations where you'll hear people saying, "Oh, so and so they deserve what they got," and this and that. When you will see a situation where somebody has done worse or more, and they're still living, like and not hurt or not injured or whatever. And that was the biggest thing that when I did post on the Facebook page, it was like everybody's playing, judge and jury. Like, I mean, and we're not gonna get anywhere like that. That's why where we at right now, because everybody is all about control and whatever they think. They don't listen to anybody else and they don't respect anybody else,
Yeah.
and that doesn't lead. That's never going to lead us down the right road.
And it was also to sort of, show some respect for the, BLM Black Lives Matter movement. Of course, like we just talked about, look, you can't have thousands of black and brown people storming the daggone Capitol. That's just not going to happen. I
Mm-mm.
don't care if they prepared for it or not tipped off about it. And it looks like the sergeant at arms and also the police, Capitol Police Chief, is resigned tonight, as well as they should. That was embarrassing what happened yesterday. I know like they've got a tough job, and I don't want to minimize what police officers do because they serve and protect us each and every day. But that was a bit disturbing to see all of those people storm the
I'm
place.
all for I'm all for good police officers.
Right? Yeah,
I know many of them.
many of them,
But
most of them are.
what yes, what we saw of just letting people in gates and being like, "Come on," or "Come this way. It's easier to get this way." Like, what?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
then
that
to see it not addressed on the news. Like when I was watching CNN and like they just skipping over that but showing the video, and I'm like,
right.
I know y'all
ESPN
see.
didn't know.
Everyone did a better job today. I mean, first of
Good.
all, no one's calling protesters anymore. I thought, on balance, most of the news organizations sort of caught up. Came out the gate. These protesters, no, you don't go from the president's daggone speech and then walk your butt down, a couple of blocks to the Capitol and march on the mall and then start tearing up stuff. That's not a protest. You're riding it at that point. So back to the Milwaukee Bucks. Coach Bud came up with the idea after tip-off because Giannis was saying most of the people pay attention to the NBA games when they start. So they wanted to wait till after the tip off. He threw the ball out of bounds. They kneeled for 7 seconds, of course, symbolizing the 7 seconds or the 7 shots that Jacob Blake took to the back there. So, yeah, good to see the NBA players, of course, once again uniting and using their voices last night. So I'm sure they'll keep it up. And that's the one league that I expect players to do the right thing and also to sort of use their voices to amplify what's going on in the country. Keep it in the NBA. Your boy Brad Beal, man, dropped 60 last night. I love his comment after the game. He was like, "Yeah, it's all good, man, but it really don't mean a damn thing if we lose." And he said this happened a few times where he's dropped 50 or 60 and they've lost. So it was good to see that he's not really into stats and numbers last night, but a very special performance by Beal last night. OG, didn't he have 57 through three? If I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken.
Yeah.
That's what made it crazy. He only had three in the fourth quarter. He could have very well easily gone for 70 plus, last night. Maybe even 80. If you think about it, yeah, like I'm almost 60 through three. Your thoughts on Brad Beal and how much of an underrated player is Bradley Beal in the NBA? Because he's not really talked about. Look, he's a top 20 talent, I think. I think that's fair. Top 20, top 25. Some might have him in their top 15. How good is Bradley Beal, OG?
No, I think it's really good. I mean, it's. I think you got a couple of strikes again in the East, and then you play for the Wizards. Like, I mean, so you're not really he's not really getting he's not on the TV screen a lot, but you know throughout his career, I mean, he's been putting up phenomenal numbers. It was a couple of takes that I took from it. When you're like, yeah, he's been a prolific 20 to 30 point scorer here and there. But when you get up in that 50, 60 range, and you don't do that on the norm, like Kobe, we became familiar with him going for 50, 40s and 50. AI, like a lot of high score, even right now, James Harden,
Yeah.
different players, like you get used to it, so it's
Jordan,
normal.
KD at times.
Yeah, yeah.
Steph
You
when he
don't,
gets to
yeah,
cooking.
Steph. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't think about you don't talk about it the same. The only reason why they hyped up Steph 63 the other night is because he had been struggling.
Mhm.
Like it
Mm,
appeared to everybody he had been struggling because they haven't been
right.
winning. But Bradley Beal, like I can understand him being mad after the game, but people are going to hype it because it's not something that he typically does to go off for 50 and 60 points. But I like this attitude behind it, but it's gonna be a lot of nights like that, Brad, because the team is. I think the team is. They can grow and get better throughout the course of the season, but it's a lot of weight on his shoulders and Russell Westbrook's shoulders. So it's gonna be even though they're in the East, it's still gonna be a tough road, a tough mountain for them to climb with just those players, and then not always getting adequate production from everybody else.
Sure. Yeah. And you look at Russ. I think he's got a broken finger or something. He's going to try to play through it as well. Kels, your thoughts? Brad Bill, man, he was cooking with grease last night. Man, he was hotter than Nevada last night. But like I said, 57 through three. Uh, man, I wish he hit the one. I think he had 1 3 in the fourth. So that gave him 60 there. But what do you think about his post game remarks as well? And how good is Brad Bill?
I think he's good. I mean, he's been there for what, 8 years, and he's not one of the guys
Somewhere,
that
yeah.
he's not one of the guys that's normally talked
Yeah, he's
about.
got to
And
be
then it
late. He's
doesn't.
got to be late 20s, around 30, right?
Yeah, I
Somewhere around
think it's like
30.
8 years,
Yeah.
from what I remember, and so he's not somebody that's readily talked about. But I mean, going for 60 at any time is an amazing feat. So you can't take that away from him. He was playing like super hungry last night with that, want to win. And so that's what I miss from seeing from a lot of players in the league, that hunger, that grit, that I want to win at all costs. So it was cool to see it last night. Will we see it again? I hope, because it's exciting. But you got to show up every time. That's one thing about being an athlete. When you're on one night and then off the next two, people always remember that two and not the one.
Hmm. Where do you put him? In the pantheon of great players, where would you rank him in the NBA right now?
Not
Like I said, what do you think, OG? Was I fair? I think if you gun in my head, I'll give him top 25, maybe top 20 on a good year. I think that's where he sort of falls. Where
Yeah,
do you think?
I think that's accurate.
sure.
Are you buying that, or you just agree? Because like
No,
I
I
don't
think no. I mean,
know.
for like it's like this. A lot of times in the NBA, you'll forget about a player because they suffered through an injury,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sit out a year or sit out half of the year, mostly particularly at the end of the year, and you'll forget about 'em. And I think Brad Bill's
Unless you're a Steph or a KD or somebody, where you legit
right,
Right.
top
but
five. Yeah,
see,
And you're
we
always on TV, and yes.
yeah, and we're talking about Brad Bill, who hasn't, they haven't been in the playoffs. They haven't been, and he hasn't played for no title or anything like that. So he's easy to forget about. I mean, so I think like I said, he's been putting in work. He just, and he's quiet. Like you don't hear anything about Brad Bill
sure.
other than whether if he's healthy or not, and what he's doing on the court.
I
So
think last year he came out and talked about being pulled over by a cop and being in DC and things of that nature. So he did talk a little bit in the Black Lives Matter movement.
yeah, but I mean, typically he just going out and hooping. Like you're not really hearing a whole lot. I mean, like I say, that he's not the top 8 teams in the league, so you definitely he's easy to forget about. But for me, I extended it when you said top 25, top 20. I was like close, but top 25, I think he can float in there.
Yeah, last time the Wizards were good, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, maybe four. Remember they played the Celtics, pretty good series there. Had it Isaiah Thomas. That was the last time they were
Hmm.
pretty good. They had
Oh
Wall
yeah,
and Boss
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So you're looking at 3+ years. Last time they were, I guess you can call it relevant, even in the East then. So a pretty good series. Still, I know the Celtics won this series, but I think it was pretty long. I think it went 6 or 7 back then when Isaiah was there before. Of course, he had the hip injury and was gone. So yeah, we saw Brad Beal drop 60 last night, but love the attitude and. Yeah, we'll see about the Wizards. What's their record right now? I should know this off the top of my head. Is it? I know they're under 500. How many wins they got? One, two,
my
three.
my team isn't sitting where I want to be,
Your team is out of the daggone playoff picture right now.
so I ain't
What?
even.
If the playoffs started today, the Nets would not be in.
That's
No,
Yeah,
yeah, they would.
painful.
Yeah, they would. They'd be in that.
it'd be eighth.
Okay, last night it was like I think they were ninth or 10th, and still with the new playoff structure, basically, 7 through 11, you can sort of play. So
Yeah,
or seven through
it's
10, whatever it is.
yeah, it's been tough. I mean, even like tonight we got players that's not playing. Eighth seed right now. The Wizards are 2-6. So
2-6. Got it.
man,
Good
he's
deal.
gonna be mad and pissed off some more. So he better come out with a lot more 60 point
All right.
Right.
effort nights.
I feel like the Wizards are pretty much the same team they were in the last few years, except John Wall's, not injured. But you replace John Wall with Russell Westbrook, very similar players, and it's like, well, yeah, it's gonna look the same. I could see them 72 games. I could see them winning. I don't know, 25 maybe. You
Yeah,
know,
But
I
if
mean,
I
I
if
said
I
this.
scored if I scored 60 points and we didn't win, like I have an attitude.
right?
I'm gonna tell you how it is. I have a whole attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, I would
So
be
it's like
proud.
25 and 42 or something like that
Well,
would be.
see his track record though. When every time he's had a career high, but typically they've lost. Like so, I mean, I can get the bitter taste, but realistically, I mean, I know as a teammate, you got to believe in your guys and stuff like that. But I just don't see any room to have a lot of faith on
Mhm.
that roster when you look on the court who's with you, and when you look at on the bench who's coming in for you. Like I
Right.
just don't. You got to be realistic in a sense. Like every night. Like even with Russ, like people give Russ a hard time. He's going out getting triple doubles and putting it in a phenomenal effort in my eyes, but that doesn't always gonna mean it's gonna equate to a win when you don't have the supporting cast that the other teams
That is
That's
true.
why I play the individual sport because
have.
Kelly's like, look, all I got to worry about is myself. I
my
do the
attitude
training.
is too bad for that. Like
Exactly.
I scored 60. Y'all motherfuckers couldn't put together nothing else.
25 and 47 sounds about right for the Wiz. That would be 72 games, right? I think, Coach K. Is it my math right on that? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that sounds good. Close enough. NFL, they're calling it Super Wild Card Weekend. You got 6 games this weekend. Playoff field expanded to 14 teams, 7 in each conference now. Top seeds, KC, Green Bay in the week off. Everybody else playing 2 through 7. AFC side, Buffalo, Indianapolis. So Bills, Colts, Ravens, Titans, Browns, Steelers. How about the Browns back in the playoffs for the first time since 2002,
Crazy, right?
when my teammate took them to the playoffs, Kelly Holcomb from Middle Tennessee.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, okay.
threw from 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, and they still lost. So it wasn't his fault. Speaking of
See,
Now,
individually,
hey,
see,
now COVID whooping their butt. Like, I
yeah, I
mean,
know Stefanski's not going to be there.
ain't
The
even
head
got
coach.
no coach, nothing.
Oh.
yeah.
Bucks, Washington, Chicago, New Orleans, Seattle, LA Rams. What game are you looking forward to? What's the best game of Super Wildcard Weekend? I'll start first. It's not even close. Ravens, Titans. Got to go to my hometown of Nashville,
Ooh,
Cashville, baby. What you got?
I'm with
that's
it.
a good
Yeah,
game.
it ain't no way. It's no, because this is payback. This is Lamar, man. Like,
Lost the
it,
last two playoff
He's
yeah,
wins.
got to, yes, like I
right.
really,
Like,
I want him to get over this hump, this playoff hump. I really do. I
But
admire
not at
him
the
as a
expense of my
player.
hometown, though.
I know, but I mean, we just gonna have to agree to disagree because I really want him to just get over the hump.
I do, but Derrick Henry out there, boy, he f
Yo,
them
toting
kids.
that
Like
thing, right?
he treating grown men like little kids, man. Like,
Like
I
the way he
mean,
like stiff armed people down is
Watch out.
so like it's embarrassing.
it's unfortunate though for Lamar though. I mean, because he plays the pinnacle position, so you're gonna get the criticism. But a lot of times, I mean, if the defense doesn't come out and play well, like that's not always that's not your fault. I mean, I think it's a lot of people get unjust blame when you play the top tier position. So and he's in that position. So I really want the Ravens to win. Um, do I think, and I think they're more than capable of winning.
Mhm.
But definitely you better hold Henry because I mean everything starts there, and I mean and in sports, I mean
Put
when
some
you
respect
want
on his name, King Henry, please.
man, King Henry, uh, in sports when the offense is scoring, it makes the defense play better, and vice versa sometimes. So I don't really look at them as a prolific scoring team like I look at the Ravens. But if you can't stop the ground game in the playoffs, most of the time you're not going to win. But the Ravens have a great running game too, and I think Lamar's been playing real well. I mean, and like I said, I want him to get over the hump because like he goes out and has these phenomenal regular seasons and then gets to the playoffs and can't get a dub.
As soon as
Everybody's
he
keep
sees
looking at him
Kansas
like
City,
a bad quarterback.
Well, you look at the last two times the Titans played them, beat them in the divisional round last year to get to they knocked off the number one
I
seed to get to
know.
Kansas City last year. Beat them pretty good, beat them by 16 points. So a couple of touchdowns there. This year, you were just talking about Derrick Henry had that walk off touchdown in overtime to beat the Ravens. So that's two straight. They beat the Ravens. I think the Ravens will get it done this weekend. I want to see my boys win, and we'll talk about it Tuesday. What happened in Wildcard Weekend? But I think the Ravens. I think somehow Lamar's been playing well. I think like 11 or 12 touchdowns, just one pick the last three games. Ground game's been there like 200 yards a game. So they're starting to cook a little bit since when they had the little debacle when they lost to New England and lost another game after that. But anything else? Also,
Oh, why
Bills
I
coach.
the
think Coach
Washington
K's
football
got
team?
something to
Yeah,
say.
I was. Yeah,
That's my game because I mean I grew up a Washington fan and I
no, I
really
said
really
Colts
like.
Bills. Colts Bills.
Oh well, I'm cool. I want to see the Bills play. I really feel like the Bills can go far.
Yeah,
But I'm interested to see this Washington game. I love this Chase Young guy. I think
he
that he
wanted Brady.
is
Called him out.
called him out. I think he has been very good for the team. His energy is amazing. He's like 12 years old, so like they need that young energy to like hype them up. I'm really really excited for that
Yeah,
game.
and BA Bruce Arians was like, "All right, you gonna
And
get it.
I love BA. Ooh,
You gonna get it."
I
Coach K,
know. Don't call out the goat.
I know. Coach K, where are you going? We just showed video of him. It ended with Brady with the six rings on 6 fingers there. Coach K, what were you about to say? Unmute.
I gotta do my
Unmute.
Derwin
Unmute. You
Jose.
how you fussing
Pushing
at
the
people
button.
for how you fussing
Pushing
at
the
people for
button.
being muted and you
Sabotage me. I gotta do this comment for Derwin. I gotta say that the
You
Patriots
better not.
will go undefeated in the playoffs. You talk about my team. Out
They
here.
will. They will not lose a playoff game this year. I promise you
you
that.
you flip flopper.
I
oh,
know.
this
I
is
think
okay.
probably the worst game on the board might be his team. Seahawks and Rams. I'm like, ew, I don't want to see that.
NFC is
Ew,
is
no.
is booty.
It is. The AFC got some really good games, man.
Hey,
Ram,
I do want to put this out there though. Everybody was calling Tom Brady washed and all this and all that or whatever, whatever. Tampa
Hmm.
Bay hadn't been in the playoffs in years.
Years. They ain't even sniffed.
Years.
They ain't
2007,
even
2007.
Yeah,
sniffed the
yeah.
playoffs.
So
Mhm.
I'm like, and my rule, my Tom Brady rule used to be don't let him get in the playoffs.
Hmm.
Like, do not let that's the only way you can stop him from winning if you don't get into the playoffs or if he played the New York Giants. But the
Also true.
right now, I mean, he in the playoffs, man. I mean they can. I mean,
Man,
I ain't doubt. I'm not doubting Tom Brady.
they
I
gonna
won't.
boat race.
No, and
Washington.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
he's got a
They can
yes,
easily do that.
he's got a phenomenal receiver core to throw to. The O line is stepping up. The defense is stepping up. Like it is the makings to see some match. Like, could you imagine if Tampa Bay went to the damn
they
Super Bowl?
they
Well,
they
they get to play in their home stadium.
yeah they can't get off to a
That's
slow start
crazy.
though. Like some of those games that they lost, they can't get
Mhm.
off to a slow start. They cannot do
Right.
But you
that.
know, Tom is a
This
second
is
half
his time to
quarterback.
shine. This is his
He's
time.
a
Hey, this is his season.
We'll
Go ahead,
see.
Kels. So you were saying you were talking about Washington. So you want to say what about Bills Colts? I think that might be the second
oh
best game on
no,
the board. I think
that's
that's
a
pretty good right
great
there.
game. I really want to see. I think this is going to be the start of a great test to see who the Bills really are.
I think the Bills are going to lose.
You do?
But
Wow.
they've been loose. They were dancing to "You Can't Touch This" today. I think the Bills are going to lose.
But
Honestly,
Oh my
maybe they
God.
don't know. Maybe they don't know. Inexperience might be on their side. No
we'll
We
nervousness,
see.
no
gotta
pressure.
put this at every. We need this in the group chat of
Oh
who
man.
things of the wins and losses of the weekend.
You know
Every
what?
we
Larry
need. I
said
need
We're going to put
picks
it in
from
the chat.
Hey,
everybody.
Larry
We're going to put it
I
said
in the
they
need
chat.
was
picks from everybody.
dancing to "Can't Touch This."
They
That's why
were.
they gonna look.
Yeah, they can't touch this, man. Uh, doom, doo, 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 dum, dum,
Can't
So
touch this.
basically,
doo,
you're
doo,
saying
doo, doo.
they about to go bankrupt,
I'm just saying, a little too loose.
huh?
Look, I like it. It's good. Look. I just think the Colts are a lot better than people think. They are so underrated. The defense has been really good. If Philip Rivers does not turn the ball over and they can get the ground game going, I don't know about Josh
Throwing them
Allen.
ducks.
I'm just, I want to see it first. I do. But look, look the Bills. A lot of people think throwing them their flowers. Oh, they're going to the Super Bowl. They're better than Kansas City. They're like number one in a lot of power rankings. I'm like, slow down on the Bills Mafia.
It
Okay,
might be
slow down.
last year's Titans.
Yeah.
Might be last year's Titans. You never know.
Yeah, true.
All right.
So
Well,
yes, in the put it in group chat. I want everybody's picks for the weekend.
I think so. We'll
Yeah.
also put this in a group chat as well. Trevor Lawrence declaring for the NFL draft. Lost
Surprise.
really
We
only
knew that.
only lost two games in college. Both of them in the
Yep.
in the college football playoff. Um, your thoughts on Trevor Lawrence going to the NFL? Probably, more than likely, in April will be drafted by Duval, Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, how good do you think Trevor Lawrence is going to be? I ain't gonna lie. I took a little step back after that national championship game. The numbers look good, 400 yards, things of that nature, a couple of touchdowns. I don't know if he's that generational of a player. You know what I'm saying? I I keep hearing John Elway, maybe Andrew Luck. I'm like, you know what? He's good, but he's played on a really good team in a bad conference. Really played his butt off one game against Alabama. The last 2 years, when you play against teams that are just as good as you, I ain't seen nothing special.
You want to go, Kelly?
Kills.
Okay,
Look,
so
he's
I
not going to be a
saw
bum. I just don't
right,
think
right,
he's going
right.
to take
No,
the
no,
NFL by
no.
storm.
I'm agreeing with you. So I saw him play when he was in high school. Jasper, my husband's team, made it to the state final and played against his team because they're all from Georgia. So we were on the sidelines, watching, and that's when I was like, "Oh, this kid is special." I mean, he was going bombs over Baghdad, like
Mm.
throwing it from everywhere. It was awesome to watch. Now what I do think the problem is development. And I think this is what happens to a lot of the young quarterbacks. People start, oh, you're gonna win the Heisman. Oh, you're going to the league. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Pushing them to step 10 when they still have to go through 4, 5, and 6 to get there. And I've asked a lot of my professional friends or Jasper's friends, what was the biggest difference from when you went from college to pro? And he was like, everybody's good.
Everybody's good.
Everybody's fast.
That's
The
simple.
linemen are fast.
Yeah.
So when you watch the tempo of the game, he's like, there's one thing when they give you film and they're like, go study. You're like, boom, study. It looks great. And then when you're in live action, it's completely different. So I think that they love to throw around, big names when it comes to these, quarterbacks. And especially if you're white, they're going to give you more of a, you are so awesome, and not to say that he's not, but like let the kid develop before you put him in his own way. Like I think don't throw out, you're Tom Brady, John Elway. You're not. You're Trevor Lawrence, and just be that. Just be you and just be great in yourself. Don't try to emulate or you know, get ahead of yourself. I'm excited to see his transformation and his transition. If he's in Duval,
Yeah.
good luck. They're gonna need lots of pieces around
Yes,
him
they will. Yeah,
because
they will.
if you don't have an O line, I don't care what quarterback you have. Like,
And who's to say he's going to beat out Jorts? Minshew. I'm joking, but OG, your thoughts? How do you think Trevor Lawrence will fare, especially if he goes to the Jaguars? Like, look, I mean, look, it'll be a good story. Look, I would probably draft him too, but Jacksonville, y'all ain't competing for the AFC South next year. Sorry, you ain't.
Right. I mean, of course, you have to draft them. I mean, if you go just according from past drafts to past players and everything like that, I mean, he's been the top dog at quarterback and on a top team since he's been in college. My only thing, and Kelly had touched on it at the end, was that we saw this from Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, I couldn't stand him when he was at LSU because I'm a Buckeye fan, but but um, when he went to the Bengals, the first few games he played, I fell in love with him, like because I was watching him on a regular. But what I realized was that if you don't have a line to protect you, and you don't have any premier targets to throw to,
I
it's
mean, he
it's
got AJ Green and running John Ross. He got some.
well, no, but yeah, but the line was the issue more than anything. I
Yeah.
saw Joe Burrow run more time in the first four NFL games than he did his whole college career. Like, I mean, and that's the thing. The other aspect, when I look at Sunshine, like he can throw, he can run, like he's athletic.
Yep.
But in the league, if you don't have that line to protect you, it does not matter. Like,
Mm.
yeah, you may be able to make some plays with your feet, but once you start taking them hits, it's over with. And that's really the one thing about some of the brothers that's came into the league that play quarterback that can escape a little bit better than others. They tend to last a lot longer until they get pieces to start to be able to protect them. And I think Lawrence is going. I think he's going. I think he has the opportunity to be really good. But like Kelly said, he has to have some pieces around him, and Jacksonville is a long way from having some pieces around him. So I mean, it's going to be challenging.
Yep.
Either way, I don't know. I think this year's number one pick was. I think they was doomed either way.
Yeah.
So
oh,
there was no escaping.
yep.
Dale, Jacksonville, they have to take this guy, right? Don't even screw
I
around. You
have to.
take
No,
Trevor
you
Lawrence,
yes.
number 16, and keep it moving, right?
Go get him.
Right.
Get him and work around him.
Coach K.
He can either be Taj Boyd or Deshaun Watson.
Taj Boyd.
Taj Boyd.
Why are you clowning?
Taj Boyd.
That's the scale. That's the
You
scale.
clowning, man. You wilding, dude.
That's a hell of a scale.
Why-
That
why-
is that's the worst scale.
Why you come over here wilding? He and Justin Fields both were the top two, sort of ranked quarterbacks during that time. Both, I believe, from Georgia as well. So
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see, these two guys, and I want to see where Justin goes. Jets probably not. Gonna
I'm
take,
excited about that.
I could see Justin Fields maybe going all the way down to maybe San Fran or New England. Look, if you're Justin Fields, don't take it personal if you slide down to the middle of the first round and Belichick
Yeah.
screws you up. Bring back Cam, maybe start the first game or two, and then put Justin in there. Yeah, I know that
I
train's
mean, the
well.
one thing about it though is that Justin Fields, I mean, he's taking a lot of slack. I mean, Ohio State is always going to take a lot of. They're going to get critiqued all the time because people don't really respect the Big Ten. But in that playoff game, he showed that he can throw the
balled.
ball.
He
Yo,
balled.
that was
Yeah, he balled.
that was an amazing game.
What he had like what? Six. He had less completions than touchdowns, didn't he? Well, very close. He had six touchdowns, like four or five incompletions. So yeah, I mean he had the one or the one pick, and that was pretty much it. Threw for 400 yards. And he balled.
And if he
Uh,
wasn't hurt, he'd have ran that in the end zone. He wouldn't even
yeah,
thought about
I
throwing
know. Did they ever say what was wrong with him?
it was damn ribs. He took a shot.
ribs.
Ribs.
Yeah,
Damn,
Was
he
poor
he
got
guy.
the same linebacker. I forget the kid's name. Got targeted
Yep.
The same one.
A year
last year.
before.
This year.
A
Yep.
year before.
Got
Yep.
yeah.
Targeted?
Yeah, he was 19 for 23. Yeah.
Yeah, so less completions than touchdowns. More touchdowns than incompletions there. So
Yeah.
uh,
They look damn good to me.
they did. But a lot
Oh
of people were
yeah.
thinking they were going back to the Indiana game, a game they barely won. One about touchdown. My cousin played it out here. That's why I
Northwestern
went this way.
too.
And then the Northwestern game, yep, in the Big Ten championship game. So that's what they were looking at. But I mean, everybody has a couple of bad games. That's why I was like, I ain't tripping. They won, and in both games they still put up like 30 plus. So it's like, okay, that's a bad game for you, and you're scoring 30. All right, that's good. That's
And
that's the
that's
hallmark of a
what
good team.
confuses me
Yeah.
when people say like you had a bad game. Well, the team that lost had a worse game. So what?
Yeah, and to their credit, like, look, the schedule they only played like what 5 or 6 games, six
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 games.
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 The schedule wasn't that tough, but I'm looking at Clemson like, other than Notre Dame, who the hell did Clemson play?
Oh my
And
goodness. I
why
be
is
saying that
Notre?
all the time, bro. I be
The
Yes.
saying that
No.
all the
It's
ACC's
time.
been weak the last like 5 years, like straight up. The last time the ACC was any damn good was when I was in Orlando when they had Jameis there.
Oh yeah.
2013, 2014. That was last.
Well,
Yeah,
that used
that
to
was
be
it.
my rule though. If Florida State is not good,
Then the
their
ACC.
their conference isn't that good
And
typically.
Miami had one little year where they kind of got into the top 10, but it's like, okay, it's a little fugazi. I ain't buying it. Y'all ain't. It's like Tennessee, like y'all ain't all the way back because you've won a game or two. You ain't all the way
Right.
back. So yeah, good stuff. I agree with you guys. Real quickly, Devonta Smith, Alabama. Um, what like 1,600 yards,
20
20
touchdowns,
touchdowns, first
102 receptions. I
100
mean,
over 100 receptions. First receiver to win the Heisman in 29 years since Desmond Howard won it. Was it the right call?
hey,
I
don't
think
let me
going in
short him. It was 105. Don't let me.
Oh, get that man his
Hey, I'm
yards.
giving
100
them all
plus,
it.
100 plus. I like the fact that I saw the parents there. I like the fact that he talked about his size, not ever
Hmm.
giving up, having some dog because he's not a big guy at all.
Not at
Very
all.
slight. Um, and people forget he wasn't the top dog at Alabama. I thought they were doomed when they lost Waddle when he got hurt on that opening kickoff against Tennessee. He's just as good as Waddle, maybe even better. Probably proved it. But holy cow, what a hell of a year from him. Was he the rightful winner of the Heisman? I know Trask had the great numbers. Probably was either going to be him or his quarterback because Florida did lose 2 or 3 games, 2 games. And then I just think Trevor Lawrence wasn't going to get it because that's another thing. Trevor Lawrence played 3 years and didn't win the Heisman.
Stats.
You would have told me that. I would have
That's
said I'm
yeah.
not being. I'm not buying that. Devontae Smith.
Right. It was
Else.
rightful. I think like at
Mhm.
first I was looking at it was like how can a receiver win the Heisman when his quarterback is in the same race as him, but he does other things than just other than play receiver, special teams, different things like that. I
All the
mean,
big plays. All the
yeah,
big plays for Alabama.
and so to me that's what kind of gave him the edge. I mean, and then these numbers is like sheesh. Like I mean, I don't even really think about anybody in college getting 100 receptions, and then we're talking about. I mean,
In like 10 or 11
Alabama.
games.
Yeah. So, I mean, he would have probably blistered some records if this would have
Hmm.
been a normal season.
Sure.
But I think I mean he's good. I'm gonna give him his just due and everything like that. But we got to be ready to stop him on Monday night. On Monday night.
Yeah. Kales, your thoughts? Devontae Smith, how deserving was he? Was he the rightful person to win the Heisman?
I think so. I think whenever you watch him play, wherever the ball is, he is. Like he'll catch anything, special teams, he's doing it. I loved it. I loved his speech. He just seems like such a humble, nice kid. And if we talk about role models for our young guys, like I think that's one of them. I don't know him personally, but you know, um, from what my best friend is a coach for Alabama, and he has nothing but nice things to say about him, and he'll tell
Take
me
the shot.
honestly.
You got a connection, girl.
I
You
do.
know.
Charles Huff, hey
Well, flex,
buddy.
girl. Yeah. Well, okay. What is
We
Charles
went
Huff
to
saying?
he says that he is amazing, and he says that he's a nice kid, and he said he's a silent leader in the locker room. Like
He
he
is
knows
quiet.
that's a go-to. He says, you have somebody that walks in the locker room, and you look at them, and the players just follow them, but they don't
Put
have
your
to say
hand down,
anything.
girl. Put your hand down. You're
Oh
killing me.
my God, really? We still doing this today? So yeah, I thought rightful winner. I think that it's
Well, that was a mom look right there.
like
I
why?
seen that look. That was a mom.
Why?
She's like,
Why are you even in here? To think that Dez was the last wide receiver to win. So I mean that's cool. That's a nice legacy to follow up.
Desmond Howard, not Des Bryant, right?
Oh yeah, no, Desmond Howard. Yeah, that's the homie. That's the
No, when
homie
you
right
said
there.
Des, I'm like, oh,
Oh,
Des Bryant? Oh, okay.
foolish.
I got you. Anything else that Coach Huff said about Devonta? And how are they feeling going up against the Buckeyes? They owe the Buckeyes too.
Oh, they ready. They ready. But I think it's gonna be a good game. I don't know who's gonna win. I can't call it.
Man, I think they're gonna dog walk
You
Ohio
think
State.
so? Ah.
I think so.
The SEC. I mean, in general, and then Alabama, man. First of all, like when you look at Alabama's team, man, the perfect picture that comes to my mind is when they did the Derrick Henry standing next to Mark Ingram when they was talking after
Yes.
the game. Bro.
Hey,
That's
the coin
that.
toss. It looked like a damn
Hey,
predator. Like
King Henry is Alabama.
Yeah.
And the rest of college football is Mark Ingram. Like,
Man.
and that's the way I look at it. I mean,
Have you not seen that picture, Kels?
No, I
oh,
haven't.
you gotta
Google
see
it.
you
Google
gotta
it
see
right
it.
now.
Yeah, you gotta see
Coin
it.
toss, Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Mark.
you gotta see it. You gotta see it. It looks unreal. Like,
Was it? I think it was before they were going to play Oklahoma or Texas or something like that. I think it was at one of the bowl games. I remembered. He's huge. He makes Mark Ingram look like a little boy.
And so, like, when you look at Alabama, I'm talking about a lot of time. I done paused it on this TV screen, and if you look at them matched up player for player, they are bigger than everybody. Like, they are. There's no mismatch when you play Alabama. You just got to play A+ football. Like, I mean, literally, and that's what it's gonna have to be. I mean, I'm not giving up on my team or anything like that, but that's how you got. That's the only way you can beat Alabama. You got to play
No,
A+
I'm looking
football.
at it right now. Like, bro,
Look.
like,
Look.
is that camera angles?
No, that's just real life. No,
Oh
Derrick
my
Henry's like
God.
Derrick Henry's like 6'2", 6'3". Mark Ingram's like 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what it is.
it's a little shrimp.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a little shrimp. Hold on now. I mean, I got to take up for small guys. I'm 5'10"
How
and a,
tall are you?
5'10" and a
That's
half.
still 2 inches taller than him.
Yeah, 5'11". You know, some J's on or something. You know, but
With your little
Hey,
broadcasting shoes on.
lacking some muscle mass, but hey,
broadcasting shoes on. What the hell is that?
Yeah, they got the little church heel on the back, the deacon shoes.
No, I buy regular stuff. Come on.
Hey, well, while you at it, Kelly, go ahead and slide a penny in
I
that.
know.
hey, I love penny loafers. What you talking about?
I used to put dimes in mine.
Ooh, big money.
I know that was the thing back in the day. It's like everybody was wearing pennies. I put dimes in that.
I can believe that.
I didn't really wear penny loafers, but the one time I did one, I put a dime in there. I was like, all right,
It's very fitting.
yeah, put a dime in there. Kels, you're a dime, so there you go. That's what I was doing. I was thinking ahead. Thinking ahead.
Thanks. I've heard that a time or two.
Yeah. Okay, my bad. Compete forever on Black News Channel this weekend. Coach K, episode 32. Is that where we're at?
32.
Okay. Mad League playoffs, right? Divisional round this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern on Black News Channel. Catch it on Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, Spectrum, also ATTU versus Direct TV as well. Charter on cable systems as well. Channel 342 on Black News Channel on Direct TV. Once again, it's myself, Brandon Bell. Brandon Bell he's been killing it the last couple of weeks, man. It's been funny.
I've been tuning in. Yeah.
So, you watch it? You seen it?
Man, I'm like,
What cable
just
system you
because
got?
I ain't on there, I still tune in from time to time.
What cable system you got, dog?
No, I'll watch it from I don't watch it actually. I'll watch it actually while y'all streaming when it's live.
Oh, okay. You watch. Okay.
Yeah, I watch it like that.
Oh, so you get the real good uncut stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all remember BET Uncut?
I remember
BET
that you
Uncut.
didn't watch it. Yeah.
That's,
I don't. Hey,
is
Kelly.
that after dark?
There's no man that doesn't remember BET Uncut.
I remember what was it? What was it? Donnie Simpson, right? He had a show on there.
Video Soul, man.
Video so Donnie Simpson, ooh la la. I remember that's how I used to start. That's all I remember. Ooh la la. I was like, what? Ooh la la.
It was like it was the dirtiest music videos I've ever
Oh
saw in my life.
man. Boy, I tell you the
Good
80s and
stuff.
90s were great, man. But I promised to get out here before 8, and we're gonna
I
do
know. Look at you.
just
Thanks, Larry.
that. Y'all back on Tuesday?
You know what? Hey, I'll be
Yeah.
talking about how the Buckeyes upset Alabama. Let's do it.
Oh boy.
Game is Monday, right? It's Monday night, right?
Yeah, perfect.
If you don't push the
Good.
game back,
When they push the game back.
they try to,
COVID. Yeah, there's some COVID issues. Yeah.
it's like, they gotta push
No.
it back.
Nah, we gotta play, man.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
play.
agree. Play it out, man. It is. Let's get this 2020 behind us. Kelly Wells, thank you, baby. It's good seeing you. Tell Jasper I said what it do.
Yeah, somebody
Uh,
said today is December 37th,
37th.
2020.
December 37th. Yeah, y'all wilding. I did think I thought that we left 2020 behind us. Apparently, we have not. Coach K pushing all the right buttons. OG Ivan King Kirk. OHIO Snoopy. Hang on, baby. Out there in Ohio.
Happy belated to you and the twin.
Yes.
Appreciate
yes,
it. Appreciate it.
yes,
Appreciate
yes.
it.
What's his
Uh,
name?
Isaac.
Oh,
Ivan and
so
Isaac.
cute.
Ivan and Isaac. Okay. The only thing missing is like the great after your first names, like Ivan, Isaac. The great. Yeah, seems
Yeah,
like
when
some
people,
royalty.
that used to be the running joke when I was a kid. People be like, "Are you the terrible or the great?"
Exactly. Oh, the
I
great.
said, I said, depending on when you catch me.
Exactly. There you go. We're a purple dashiki or something. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead and get us out of here, Larry.
We're royal. All right, that'll do it. Thanks for watching Esports Extra, man. We'll see you on Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. The only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports, esports, and gaming. Have a great weekend. See you Tuesday for more Esports Extra, 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good week.